Hey, what's up, everybody? Lawler here, and we've got day 3 recap of the Winter Split Major. A little bit more time to talk. I found a way to cheat the Wi-Fi here, so uploads can actually be talked about at length a little bit. Sorry, Wojtek, it's more for you to edit. I'm not going to try to talk too much because my voice, if you can't tell, is pretty shot. We just wrapped up day 2 of the watch party for version 1. Anybody who I met there, anybody who was there, greatly appreciate you guys coming and hanging out, saying hi, a bunch of autographs, pictures. If any of you guys do have that stuff and you were there, please tweet it at me, send it to me, any of that kind of stuff. I like to keep all that stuff together because it's super cool to see you guys show and share that love and passion. So we had a pretty crazy day today. As you can tell by the title, there's been a lot of upsets and stuff. How much of that is the format and otherwise is up to debate, but there was 6 matches today. There's gonna be 6 more tomorrow. The 6 matches today were the 2 tiebreakers in Group B, I think. Group B had 2 tiebreakers between Endpoint and Furia to see who's going to get the 1 seed and the 2 seed. And then we had Energy and Renegades fighting to see who was going to stay alive. Pretty crazy stuff. And then we also had the elimination matches, our lower round 1 matches, which were still best of 5. So ultimately, I'm gonna try to more so talk about overall thoughts. I'll be completely candid. When I'm out here doing work stuff, I haven't been able to watch too many of the matches. I just hear it in passing or get updates from people that are nearby and stuff because I'm running around doing content, all that kind of stuff with V1, which, again, massive thank you to them. I think a lot of people are really happy with how that watch party went, so it's been a lot of fun. But there's been some pretty crazy results, and there's been a lot of situations where I think it continues to showcase why there's some frustrations with this format, like having the 2 number 1 seeds. It's difficult because the 2 number 1 seeds are fighting each other in the lower bracket for an elimination, which at the end of the day is like, why are the number 1 seeds losing in their groups? But at the same time, even in this format, you would like to see those teams not have to play each other until later on in some capacity. But when you're not winning your group and upsets happen, this stuff happens as well. So there's like both sides of the argument. Let's start with the first matches of the day. We started with Furia and Endpoint. And a couple things to note. There is no EU teams in the top 4 and the upper side of the bracket. EU teams, other regions that are not in the Western Hemisphere, are going to have to go through the lower bracket. That's 7 matches in a row. It's absolutely brutal. There's a huge advantage for, obviously, V1 Space Station, Furia now, as well as G2. A massive advantage. We're also guaranteed to see a North American team in top 3, which is pretty crazy with how things have played out. There's some pretty interesting results. There were stats that were put out about how Energy has not missed a grand final appearance or a final day appearance since season 6. Not a grand final appearance, but a final day appearance since season 6. So like that's pretty insane, and it's very difficult to stay at the top for so long. So we'll talk about them in a sec. But Furia is looking damn good. That Jan edition has been popping off. As you guys know, I joke about it, but I say Jan's my boy. I don't think I've ever interacted directly with Jan. I just really, really like the kid and how he plays ever since I was doing like Sportsnet highlight videos, and he was on all of them. But that team continues to show that they have made huge strides, and the defense continues to get better, and the offense is just clicking. With that said, Endpoint, the big difference here is I think the reliance on Seiko kind of got to them. Relating Wave felt like he had a little bit of an off day, which is understandable. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of things on the line. And not to call out any individual player, I think it is obviously a team effort, and everybody else tries to pick each other up. It is very unrealistic for everybody to play out of their mind every single day. And this one felt like someone had to do some heavy lifting, and unfortunately they just couldn't rise to that occasion. That's kind of like the overall story I feel for Endpoint today. But Furia, 3-2, close game, 4-1 then an Endpoint, and then 2-1, 2-1. Like, it was an OT in the last one. This could have went at any moment. There's also that really cool situation with Chamako when he came on broadcast and stuff. Shout out to Chamako, love that boy. And glad he got brought out. But yeah, Chamako and Jorby cast on this one, which is a great addition to Liquidpedia as well. So Furia is looking really strong. I think they match up pretty solid against G2. That'll be a bloodbath. That series is just going to be nonstop offense. I'm looking forward to it. So expect some impeccable saves, some high flashy moments, crazy shots left and right. It's G2 Fury, I think, is a really good matchup. I think that one's going to go well. And then you get the banter on the other side with Space Station and Reddles with Com and V1. So the other tiebreaker that happened was then Energy and Renegades. Renegades does not have a good track record against Renegades. Or Renegades does not have a good track record against Energy. Sorry. and it continues here. Energy comes out, and they close this one out pretty quick. I was hoping that their earlier matches would provide a bit more confidence because the mental did not look like it was in a good place, and it seems like with replay review and putting in the time and the effort, they did put themselves in a really good position. So it is unfortunate to see Renegades go out super early, but again, that's just kind of the way it goes with these. It is a very cutthroat group stage with all of these, so sucks for them that they had to play against. I mean, they went 1-2, and then in the tiebreakers, so they beat Furia, they lose to Energy, they lose to Endpoint, and then they lose to Energy again. So it's like 2 out of your 3 losses coming from Energy. It's tough, but those are the ones you got to win. We then go to the lower bracket, and I'm going to go top to bottom. First point was Endpoint and Faze, and this is the continuation of what I was talking about. It feels like Endpoint was a little reliant on 1 or 2 particular things going their way, and Faze came aggressive. I don't know what it was, and I think this is the cool thing and something that I like about the Major as compared to times in the past. In the past, all these group stages and this elimination round 1 would be on the same day, but because it's not, teams have a chance to make that adjustment and bounce back and make sure that they, kind of find their footing. And it seems like Faze did that. Faze is looking poised to play a much more aggressive game, which is really cool. But you look at the rest of this bracket, which I'll talk about at the end, some crazy results are happening. I talked about it in yesterday's video title. Like, there is no easy matches. It's all super competitive. Everybody is here to play. Minor or major region does not matter. This is the most true sense of RLCS international competition that we've had. Everybody's playing really well, and it's awesome to see. There's no like true blowouts. Teams are getting goals. Like, it's been solid. So Faze, I think, just kind of really made those adjustments that they needed to last night. They played super aggressive. They felt more comfortable with their situation, and they really excelled. We then get to one of the highlights of the day. There was like so many good matches today, and I wish I would have got to watch more of them. Was BDS and KCP. This series, I think, was probably the loudest at the watch party for version 1. A lot of the KCP content creators were out there. Righteous with them were there and stuff, and having a good time. But KCP and BDS, man, were going back and forth, and a lot of people not giving KCP the credit, and I think they're getting a lot of respect because of this series. Almost a sweep from BDS, and there was 2 overtimes. The first game had 1 minute 9. The third game had 54 seconds, and it was a nail biter the whole way. It felt kind of weird because BDS has normally been this dominant team. They don't allow you to breathe, and they suffocate, and KCP kept finding ways to score. It was super impressive. They actually did a tri-caster on this one too with Achieves, Corelli, and Jorby, which was really cool. And glad to see that in the low rounds to give some people some time and effort to get a breather, because I know they're trying to get over to the YouTube theater as well to get prepped for that and see that venue, because they got an early day tomorrow with the podcast with First Touch and everything, which if you guys don't know, First Touch is going to be live at the event tomorrow, which will be really cool. But yeah, KCP put up a fight. It does go to the distance. They stop the reverse sweep. They win 3-2, 3-1 in games 4 and 5 after clutching that OT in game 3. And then the last game, BDS closes it out. And it's like heartbreak, too. Very, very back and forth. We then go to the premier match. You got the number 1 seeds from both NA and EU in the lower bracket. You got Team Queso and Energy back and forth. And it starts with 3 overtimes back to back to back. Queso takes the first one. Energy takes the second one and the third one. So now Energy, match point. And they got 2 games to do it. And Queso just decides, you know what, screw it. We're going. And they started playing that aggressive playstyle, the chaotic, the very, very difficult to predict playstyle that Queso is so good at. Rise is still playing out of his mind. And Queso ends up coming back and closing it out. So they win 3-2 and then 5-1 in that last game. After you saw Queso go up 3-1, you could just immediately see the mental of Energy be like, yeah, it's done. Like, I don't know how we're going to come back from this. And Queso then racks on some more after that point. You can see the frustration from their faces, and it's why I like the player cams. I know it's never fun to go through loser interviews or those process, but it humanizes them. It makes them more relatable to. We've been in tough losses and situations, and if you're a competitor, you know what that feels like. And you feel for the team. It's what makes me more of a fan of this. So I feel for Energy. It's a tough one. They've been at the top for a very, very long time. I did talk to Garrett and Justin, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, that they feel like they've learned more in these past couple of days than they have in a really long time, just because they have been at the top and it's very difficult to stay at the top. I compared it to them when I was talking to them like with Chiefs. When Chiefs were in OCE, they didn't really have any other teams to compete against them, so staying at the top is super difficult. But now that everybody's building teams to beat Energy, like it's difficult. So they get to finally take some of this information, come back and make adjustments, and someone else has got to fend off that title. So I'm really happy for Energy. I think they put their heart and soul into it. They did bounce back. They gave us a phenomenal series. But in the end, Team Queso is persisting, and I love the responses that you're getting from some of the players like Rise in the responses, because it's tough. I can't imagine for Energy that's been waiting so long to have a live crowd to not get to play in front of them. That's a real kick to the gut. So glad to see the response and the camaraderie. Obviously, I'm all for banter and the trash talk that we're going to get in COM and Riddles probably for Space Station and V1. But at the end of the day, support your fellow teammates, support your fellow competitors, and be honest about it. Being in that situation is not easy. So the fact that they are immediately showing them, keep your head up, that kind of stuff. You love to see it, especially from the young kids coming in. It's awesome. It really is. We then go to the last game of the day, which every time I heard about this, I'm like, what is going on? I was in the middle of doing a content piece, and I had this in like the corner of my eye in the back with like sun glare and stuff. And I like peek up. I'm like, all right, Dignitas doing well. Oh, it's a shutout. Okay, 1-0. Okay, it's close. EG's fighting well, but we'll see how this goes. And then I tune back in, and it's 6-0 for EG. And I'm like, what is happening? And the reverse sweep comes to completion. I mentioned this, like, I don't know if I'll ever see, like, EG peak, but I think what is the most commendable thing about EG is they show up. They will always fight. They will always make it very difficult. And if you slip at any time, if you give them any wiggle room, they will punish you for it. And this is a prime example of that. They absolutely dominated it. And the most depressing thing is it ended off of a 5-second OT. Game 5 went to 3, or it was 2-2 that goes into OT, and it was 5 seconds, and that was it. So like we had all this hype, this anticipation, and then it was just gone. And I wish we would have had like more of a grueling OT and a couple, but credit to EG, great kickoff. They end up closing it out, and impressive, absolutely impressive. So the teams that are remaining, there is 8. We are officially in the top 8. You got V1 and Space Station, and I'm doing these in reverse order of when they play. You've got Furia and G2, Faze and BDS, Team Queso, and EG. So got one NA team in the lower bracket, which will guarantee an NA versus NA match if they beat BDS. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of cross-regional stuff based upon the way the brackets played out. So pretty wild stuff. This event is shaping up to be pretty exciting. The fact that we're going to have crowd back tomorrow, I have no idea what's going to go. I'm going to get to sit after some content pieces in the morning and just watch and digest. But as much as I would love to talk and explain this more, the Wi-Fi is only so good here, so this video has got to get uploaded. And apparently I'm going to a basketball game tonight. I guess I'm going to like the Clippers game or something. I don't know what the heck. So I got to go shower and get ready for that. But pretty soft-spoken, pretty chill vibes here for this video. But I do appreciate you guys taking the time. I saw all your comments about how you guys were all like, wow, I can't believe you put out a video, this and that, late at night. I do appreciate it. There's a lot that goes into these, and my mind is completely spent. If you ask any of the staff, like I've been running around like crazy all day, and I'm tired. But I know you guys like these videos, and you guys rely on these things, and it's something you appreciate, so we continue to power through. So with that said, I'm going to go relax. I'm going to go to a basketball game and spend time with some loved ones, and hopefully see you that are attending at the venue tomorrow. Make sure you say hi, and if not, make sure you cheer extra loud in chat, because it's going to be special. There's a lot of cool things that Sonic's doing. You see it by the content pieces. I'll do more like full-blown stuff and specifics about some of the content they're releasing in the SRG situation and the crowd event, and we'll do a live react to that. But just know I appreciate y'all. Thank you for all tuning in, watching, hit the subscribe button, giving it a thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. It means the world. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.